it only takes one yes. So if you're trying to write a book, if you're trying to, I don't know, get a movie, I don't know, create a movie, whatever you're trying to do, start any kind of business, it only takes one yes. Just keep going, keep going.
Let's take a quick moment to thank the people that support and sponsor the podcast. When life takes an unexpected turn, you deserve someone who will stand beside you. St. Louis attorney Chris Dully offers experienced one-on-one legal defense. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com. That's DULLE lawfirm.com for a free consultation.
Welcome to Hope Comes to Visit. I'm Danielle Elliott-Smith. This is more than a podcast. It's a gathering place, a space for stories that open hearts, conversations that spark truth, and hope that hopefully shows up right on time. I'm really excited for today's conversation. My guest is a testament to what it looks like to show up for reinvention and step into your second act. Julie Whitney is a self-employed PR professional who is a testament to resilience and reinvention and what it looks like to create and master your own second act. And she is now added to her resume, children's book author. Julie, I'm so excited for you to be here with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Danielle. I'm excited too.
It's such a fun story. When I was first reading all about you, I love, because we frequently say to ourselves, what do I want to be when I grow up? And do I still have time to do all these things that I want to do? And you are the answer to that question personified.
And it happened in the least expected way. I never had children's book author on my bucket list at all.
Really? See, that's even better, because I think that some of us have these things on our list and don't know how to get to them. And sometimes we don't know how to answer the, wait, do I want to do this when it pops up? So let's start at the beginning of your story. What were you doing? You're a self-employed PR professional. And right. How do we take this left turn?
So in 2020, when the pandemic hit and the world shut down, everyone was on lockdown. It was a tragic year for many of us. And my husband, who was the chief corporate pilot of this beautiful Gulfstream jet that I call Astra, she's a G100, unexpectedly lost his job of 13 years when his company called and said, we're getting rid of the flight department and we're selling the airplane. So May 5th, 2020, a day I'll never forget, I went with him to help him clean out the hangar, get his belongings, and say goodbye to Astra. And I asked him if I could sit inside her one time, and he lit up the instrument panel, and I crawled inside her beautiful leather interior and sat in the passenger compartment, and I started to cry uncontrollably. It was this overwhelming emotion that hit me. It wasn't necessarily his job loss, but it was about the plane. I personified the plane, and I thought, what is going to happen to this beautiful Gulfstream jet when she's sitting all alone in her cold, dark hangar day after day, rusting away, wondering where Captain Dan is and why she's not flying?
Did you know that you had this attachment to Astra? Did you?
I had never even flown in her, but she was Dan's baby. Okay, my husband Dan, Captain Dan, he knew her quirks, her ins and outs, and flew her 3 to 4 days a week as far away as Brazil, and he knew everything about her, and he's the one that took care of her day after day. So I thought, she's going to be really lonely, and I said, what's going to happen if she just sits here and no one buys her? And Dan said, well, if someone doesn't start her engines every 28 days, she's going to be in really bad shape. So I went home that night, and I literally came up with this idea that this is a book. And I started writing Astra the Lonely Airplane that night. And I might add that that was my 60th birthday year. And instead of going to Italy, which was our plan, I had a Zoom pizza party in my backyard.
Well, and that was as a result of COVID, right? So you were supposed to go to Italy and then didn't go to Italy because of the world shutting down.
Yes. So I wrote a children's book. Needless to say, my PR business had slowed down a little bit. And I decided to write this book. And it was never anything I intended to do because as a PR professional, I've probably promoted about 20 authors and launched their book tours over the years. And I knew what hard work it was. And so, but I just jumped in head first. And I've always been really good at rhyming. Even as a child, I've written birthday odes for my friends on their birthdays, and I write them for my clients still.
Right.
So it turned into a rhyming book because that's how my brain works.
Right.
So it's a rhyming picture book.
I love it. So how has that journey been? I know you've turned it into, it's more than one book now.
It is. The challenge, I'll tell you, I had to have a lot of hope because the challenge is getting it published. So you have to have really thick skin, a lot of hope. So the first book, Astra the Lonely Airplane, was actually published. It came out in March of 2022 during Right to Read Week. And the second book, Astra in Hollywood, which just won the Hindi's Library's Best Picture Book Award, came out 2 years later in March of 2024. So both books have been extremely popular. And a third book is also written, Astra's Canine Rescue. But I've put that on hold because I've decided that I want to develop a children's animated streaming series.
Good for you. I love the dreaming big. I want to talk about the publishing process a little bit, though, because you understand the PR side of it, right? But I imagine when people come to you, they already have that piece taken care of. So was that a learning curve for you?
Definitely. I mean, I seriously Googled all the literary agents and publishers that were looking for new children's books. And I must have sent out, I don't know, I'm going to say 60 or 70 queries. And I kept getting shot down. But as a PR pro, I know that you can't land every story. Right. You know, it only takes that one. And so my motto was always have hope. It only takes one. Someone's going to fall in love with it. So I was starting to get a bit of discouraged. But in August of 2022, or 2020, I'm sorry, August of 2020, Brandy Lane Publishers got back to me and said, we love your book. And I actually signed with them on August 19th of 2020, which is National Aviation Day. And the same day, Captain Dan got a new job. The stars were aligned for both of us that day. I saw it as a destiny. I really did.
Right. Look at everything come together for you. Now, I know that you mentioned to me that Hope is your middle name as well.
It is. And you know, the actual book, Astra the Lonely Airplane, is a story of hope. So Astra finds out that she's being sold, and Captain Dan tells her they have to leave the hangar and find a new job. And she's a bunch of quirky different people come by and take her for a ride and try to buy her, and they're kind of mean and not very nice to her. One man's really rude, but Astra holds out hope that they're going to find the right buyer. And at the end of the book, they really do. So it's actually about having hope and resilience and dealing with difficulties and life challenges that may arise. So for a child, it might be a move to a new town or dealing with a bully. But this book shares that message of having hope and has a happy ending with Astra's new owner when she ends up in her new glitzy Hollywood hangar.
See, one of the things that I love about this, so such a departure for you, right? So working in the PR world, one of the pictures that you sent me was you reading to children. What is it like to have a completely different audience?
It is so magical. I partnered locally with Junior Achievement, and they actually were bringing me into area schools where I would read to up to like 800 people, 800 children in an auditorium. And there's no feeling like it. I'm going to get tears in my eyes because having a child, having your message resonate with them and having them fall in love with Astra and the book is just unbelievable. I must have 1,000 pictures of kids holding the airplane. I wear my pilot uniform. I quiz them from the back of the book, which actually has a glossary to see how much they remember. They are like sponges. I'd say, does anyone remember how fast Astra could go or how high she can climb? And they remember everything. And if Captain Dan's not flying the friendly skies, he comes with me in his pilot uniform. He's the captain. I'm the first officer. And I'll say, does anyone have any questions for the author? And they'll ask me a few questions. But then I say, does anyone have any questions for Captain Dan? Oh my gosh, the questions are unbelievable.
Like me. Julie, do you fly? Do you have your captain's license?
I don't. My husband says I'm not equipped for it mentally because my mind races so much and I can't compartmentalize because I'm always multitasking. But
you're a right brain girl like me.
I've flown with him though. We did join a flight club a few years ago, and it's like you pay the dues and it's like renting a plane, not owning it. You get the privileges. And we did that for a couple years. We flew around in a little Cessna, but Cessna 182. But we didn't use it enough, so we ended up letting it go. But I have flown with him, not in the corporate jet, but in a little Cessna. He's a very good pilot.
So I'm thinking about how beautifully your message resonates well beyond. So it starts with you having to find a different trajectory. COVID, you're turning 60. Captain Dan loses his job. You're worried about Astra and you're thinking, wait a minute, how do I find a new path? My business is slowing down. And you just sort of stepped into something new. Where does that level of resilience come from in you?
I think from being a a couple different things. From being a PR professional, I have determination and grit, and I know, I've gotten shot down by dozens of reporters in my career, so I have very thick skin, and I know you just need to keep on plugging until you land the story. Backing up, I think it comes way back to when I started my company, actually, in the year 2000. I literally quit a job in the corporate world and started a PR business. I mean, I worked for years in the advertising and PR business for different agencies and on the client side and also in the media. But I gave myself the courage to do it. I was turning 40 and I told myself I was going to have my own business by the time I was 40. So I knew I needed to step things up to hit that mark. I landed a client that was willing to let me work 24 hours a week at home on a retainer while I still grew my hourly business. So that's where a lot of my determination came from. I also might add, I got divorced and became a single mom that year. So that I really held out hope that things were going to be better and that I could do it all. And I did. I was a single mom for many years. I grew my business, but I think that's where it all started in 2000 when I kind of knew, you know what, I can do it. I can do anything. I just got to put my mind to it. I'm going to get some rejections, but I'm going to land some big ones too. And that's how I did it.
I'm going to ask you a question someone asked me when I was on book tour. And I thought, wow, that's a deep question. What do you hope your kids say about you at the end of the day?
Honestly, my mother, who just passed away last summer, I'm an only child, was very hard. She's my biggest fan. And I will say I dedicated my first book to her, my beautiful mom, Sandy, who's always been my biggest fan. But I have a son, a biological son, and 3 wonderful bonus kids who I've had for 20 years. They're all very proud of me. And in fact, my granddaughter, Maddie, who's going to turn 5 this summer, absolutely loves the books. I read them to her every time I go to visit. So I think having the grandkids fall in love with your books is even more meaningful. My son, when he was home last November, he came to a big book signing with his fiance. He had never seen me in action. And I was so happy that he actually got to see me with a big crowd doing my thing. He filmed it on his phone. And so I know they're very proud. They're especially proud that after pitching my children's series and I created a trailer and a pitch deck to, I would say, I don't know, 50 different animation and production studios. I found one, as I did with my publisher, that actually fell in love with the concept. I thought my pitch deck and trailer were pretty good, but they're redoing it to a professional level that I could never even imagine. And they're going to start taking it to all the children's programming shows worldwide and actively pitching it to find either a streaming platform that's interested or else a sponsor. So I'm really excited because they love it. They believe in Astra. I had already written in my mind like 25 books. And I thought, I don't have time to publish 25 books in my life that I have left. It takes 2 years for each one. So I thought if I do an animated series, I can tell all the stories I wanted to tell about Astra and her 3 new friends that she meets who are all different from her in Hollywood. Lana the Learjet, Helen the helicopter, and Hank the cargo plane. They all have different skills from Astra, but when they work together, this formidable foursome helps to save people, animals, and our planet worldwide.
I love this. I love the way your brain works. And it's funny, on my bucket list since I was a child was wanting to voice a cartoon, voice an animated series. And it just gives me, you continue to give me hope that I can continue to send things out into the universe and spiral into some of the things that I want to do. That's extraordinary. So beyond the series, is there anything else that you want for Astra?
I just want, the series is about leaving a legacy. It's just about leaving something behind. And that's the thing I really want, is to leave this world with a message of positivity and hope. I'm just so sad that my mother passed away last summer before I got this animation company on the hook, because she, like I said, she was my biggest fan and she was always talking about it. And she was so excited this summer before she passed. Harrison Ford's agent asked me for the books and I mailed them to him. So she was really excited about that, telling everyone, Harrison Ford, because I contacted all the agents of people that were pilots like John Travolta, Harrison Ford, Tom Cruise. I got some nasty emails back threatening to block me, whatever.
Wow.
But
I can't imagine sending you a nasty email back. I mean, a simple no thank you can suffice.
And I couldn't even send the poo emoji or anything because they blocked me. No, I would never do that. But my motto also is kill them with kindness. So if someone's rude to me, then I send them a really nice thank you back if they don't block me, which that was the only person I think that ever has. But so that's really what I want. I just want to leave with this message of positivity and hope and have something that children will enjoy and embrace that's good, wholesome, non-political, entertainment about helping others and being kind. Really. I mean, that's all I want.
Julie, if you were to sit in front of people like you, right, who are in the midst of a moment when they are thinking, should I pursue a dream that I have tabled? What would you say to them?
2 things. I would say after I started my PR company in 2000, which I didn't even know, what can I write off? What do I need for a home office? The first thing I did was hire a small business accountant who told me how to file my quarterly taxes and took me through everything. I've probably sat down with, I want to say, at least a dozen entrepreneurs who've come to me trying to start their own consulting business, asking me what to do. And I've walked them through everything, and I've sent a lot of them to my accountant who's now retired. But I pride myself that I've always made the time to help other PR professionals or anyone trying to start any type of small business, tell them what they need to do and what they need to be aware of, tax-wise, etc. The other thing I would say is it only takes one yes. So if you're trying to write a book, if you're trying to, I don't know, get a movie, I don't know, create a movie, whatever you're trying to do, start any kind of business, it only takes one yes. Just keep going, keep going. There's going to be days where you get down, but just tell yourself eventually whatever you're doing is going to resonate with someone. I mean, I almost didn't read the email from Brandy Lane Publishers. I actually put it aside in my inbox and kept working on other stuff because I was sure it was going to be another thank you anyway. You're very creative, but we're not interested. So I finally read it at the end of the day and started screaming. And I called my mother first.
Oh, I love
to tell her that the book was being published. So
that is amazing. Have they published all of your Astra books?
They published both of them. And the third book, even though they sent me a contract, I've put it on hold because I'm kind of focusing on the streaming series right now to see where it goes.
Okay.
I've had to hire an intellectual property attorney and make sure, that I own the illustrations and everything and copyright everything and made sure everything was squared away before I started doing that. So
is there a specific animator that you work with? Do you work with a specific illustrator?
Yes. So how it worked is the publisher actually found my illustrator. So when I did the video shoot, the first book comes with a video with a QR code of Captain Dan giving them a tour of the real Astra.
Oh, I love
so
that.
When we did the shoot that day, I went to the hangar and took hundreds of pictures of Astra, the inside, the outside, Captain Dan, the whole bit. So I had those photos on hand. So when it came time to find an illustrator, I sent the photos in a Dropbox to my publisher, and they sent me some portfolios of people that they've worked with. And I just narrowed it down to the 3 that I liked the best. And then we had them do a sketch of Captain Dan and Astra, complete with eyes, like to personify her. And Michelle Simpson of Canada nailed it. I cried. I got tears in my eyes and goosebumps. I can still get tears in my because she just nailed it. She nailed Captain Dan. She nailed Astra. Her mannerisms, her sitting alone in the cold, dark hangar with bats in her hangar and she's leaking oil. I mean, she just got it. And I used her for the second book too. And she's absolutely wonderful. So if the third book's published, yeah, she's my gal.
I have 2 questions. Where is the real Astra now?
The real Astra actually got sold to a small business company locally, and Dan is not flying her anymore, but I do believe she's still in Cincinnati.
Okay.
He now works for a different company, but I think she's still here, and I think the company painted her a different color, so I don't even know if I would recognize her anymore. But
how does Captain Dan feel about seeing himself in cartoon or in animation?
We are so opposite. My left brain Navy pilot husband and the PR pro / author. We are so opposite. He hates being on camera and he was such a trooper to do the video. I should send you the book so you can watch the video. He did not want to do it at all, but he did it for me. And he protests about having to go to the schools. But he gets up there and he's so good with the kids and they love him and he loves it. I mean, he's so good with our grandkids. So I mean, he's just great with kids.
I love it.
But he gets
I have a left brain husband as well. Like incredibly brilliant and kind and just good with people, good with kids, but shies away from the spotlight as well.
He hates it. Way back in the when we first got married, he was one of Redbook's hottest husbands in America. I nominated him. And he was one of the 5 finalists, so he was published in the magazine. He hated every minute of it. Had he let me do my PR thing and emailed everyone I know, he would have won. But he got upset with it. Now, if someone nominated me for hottest wife in America, I'd be like, heck yeah.
You're like, sign me up.
He was on the front page of the Tempo section of the Cincinnati Enquirer. Hot husband right here in Cincinnati. They came
hilarious.
And took photos. Anyway, he does not like the camera. Whereas me, I had to do self-promotion for the book. So it was a natural for me, just wind me up and let me go, put me on TV, let me talk about it. I media trained so many of my clients and I worked in local TV. So
yeah, you mentioned that in your bio. And one of the things I noted was that you were an extra in Greece.
I was.
What was that experience like?
I was, so in the summer of 77, the movie was shot in California at Venice High School. Alan Carr, who was the producer, actually had a brainstorm that he thought that he would run a nationwide contest to find talented teens from major cities in the US and fly them out to Hollywood and let them be in the movie. So I was the winner from Cincinnati.
Really?
And I got to go out to LA, and I was in the summer night. We were in the summer night scene.
Okay.
Where Olivia Newton-John is singing outside in the lunchroom at Venice High School, and we're walking by in the background. I'm running my fingers through a friend of mine who I've stayed in touch with, Michael Charbonne's hair. He's in Canada. He's a sports commentator now. And then the last day of school scene where Eve Arden rings the xylophone and says that school's out for the year, and they all run out the door.
It's always been one of my favorite movies. As a matter of fact, when I was a child, I want to say I was 7, I did a pirouette to the end of the movie in our living room and fell and split my eye open and ended up with stitches.
Oh my gosh.
Klutzy, right brain, not athletic. So, but always been one of my favorite movies. Not singing.
I have a whole scrapbook, and and then I had to do a autograph session with Kelly Ward, who played Putsy here in Cincinnati at Shill Toes, because they were the sponsor. Federated Department Stores and Paramount were the sponsors, and I got a modeling contract with Shill Toes and had to model for them for a year, which was a big controversy because I was on the Pogues teen board at the time, and they made me quit because I couldn't do both stores. Anyway, It was a summer I'll never forget. And it came out actually then a year later in 1978. I thought that John Travolta would respond to me, but he obviously doesn't monitor his Instagram account.
Well, I was thinking, with him being a pilot and you being able to say, hey, I was an extra in one of your original movies would be a fun connection.
He could be Captain Dan. He could voice Captain Dan.
Yeah, I know. Julie, how do you define hope?
Oh, hope. Hope is never giving up. Never, ever. I don't think I've ever quit anything. I've threatened to, but I haven't. And when I say I'm giving up, I don't really mean it. So resilience, never giving up. I do have a lot of faith. I have to say I pray a lot. I'm a very big prayer. So resilience and just never giving up. Believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, it doesn't matter what anyone tells you. It has to come from within.
You are definitely a beautiful testament to what it looks like to believe in yourself. From the moment we first connected, I felt an infectious amount of joy in you and your story. And that is one of the things that I take away from your story of inspiration and resilience and the 2.0 and 3.0 versions of you. So it's a delight to talk to you.
You too. I'm so excited that you had me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Where can everyone find you and where can they find Astra?
Well, my personal Astra website is Astra, A-S-T-R-A, thelonelyairplane.com, and you could order autographed copies, which I personally sign and ship on there. But there's also free coloring and activity sheets for all ages on there. You can just go and download for your kids on a rainy day. They can also learn the aviation alphabet, which is on there. There's tons of free stuff on there for kids to do. My book is available everywhere that books are sold, including Amazon and Target and anywhere you could think of. It's also at most of the major aviation museums throughout the U.S., and Hudson Booksellers has it in 37 of their major airports. So you can find it just about anywhere. If you just Google Astra the Lonely Airplane, it comes in hardback and softback.
That is fantastic. Where can we stay up to date on what happens with the series?
The Astra the Lonely Airplane.com is probably the best place. Captain Dan is actually my webmaster.
Okay.
My left brain computer guy. So he updates everything as it happens. News stories, for example, this podcast will probably be on there very soon. And that's probably the best place to go. And then people can also email me at julie@astrathelonelyairplane.com.
Julie, you are true joy. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share?
I think we covered a lot. I really do. I think that's it.
No, you are fantastic. Thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Thanks, Danielle. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. And friends, thank you for joining us on this episode of Hope Comes to Visit. I so hope that you've been inspired by Julie's story of reinvention and inspired by her willingness to keep going and keep believing in herself. I do appreciate you spending time with both of us. And I so hope that you'll be back, that you'll share this episode, that you'll rate and review. And until we spend time together again, please take very good care of you.
Naturally, it's important to thank the people who support and sponsor the podcast. This episode is supported by Chris Dully, a trusted criminal defense attorney and friend of mine here in St. Louis, who believes in second chances and solid representation. Whether you're facing a DWI, felony, or traffic issue, Chris handles your case personally, with clarity, compassion, and over 15 years of experience. When things feel uncertain, it helps to have someone steady in your corner. Call 314-384-4000 or 314-DUI-HELP, or you can visit dullylawfirm.com to schedule your free consultation.